Paris is one of those cities that you can visit 100 times and still find something new. The first time I stepped into the city, I instantly understood why people call it the City of Love. Every corner felt alive with history, every cafe smelled like fresh bread, and every monument told a story. In this video, I want to take you through my own journey, 10 of the most beautiful places in Paris that left me absolutely mesmerized. Along the way, I'll share not just the sights, but also the little foods and flavors that made my trip unforgettable. So, come with me as I relive my Paris adventure. Number 10. Montmartre and Sacré-Cœur. One of my favorite mornings in Paris started in Montmartre. The neighborhood instantly felt different from the rest of the city. Quiet cobblestone streets winding uphill, ivy-draped houses, and little cafes buzzing with locals. As I climbed towards the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, I noticed street artists setting up their easels in Place du Tertre, sketching portraits of tourists with quick strokes. Reaching the top of the hill, I turned around and the view took my breath away. The entire city stretched out below me, glowing in the soft light of sunrise. After visiting the basilica's grand white domes, I couldn't resist grabbing a hot Nutella crepe from a street vendor. Standing there, watching Paris come alive while biting into something warm and sweet, it felt like the perfect Parisian moment. Number 9. Sainte-Chapelle. Walking into Sainte-Chapelle felt like stepping into a cathedral made of light. Tucked inside the old Palais de la Cité, it looked modest from the outside, but once I climbed the narrow staircase and entered the upper chapel, I froze in awe. The stained glass windows towered over me, each pane telling a story in brilliant reds, blues, and purples. As the sunlight poured through, the entire room seemed to glow like a jewel box. I sat quietly for a few minutes, just letting the colors wash over me. It's smaller and much less crowded than Notre-Dame, which made it feel intimate, almost like a secret discovery. Afterward, I treated myself to a croissant from a nearby bakery, still warm and flaky, which felt like the perfect follow-up to such a dazzling experience. Number 8. Seine River Cruise. One evening, I boarded a boat along the Seine, not knowing just how magical Paris would look from the water. The boat drifted past golden-lit bridges, and I caught sight of the Eiffel Tower sparkling in the distance. As we glided along, the Louvre, Notre-Dame, and rows of elegant apartments all looked completely different from this angle, like Paris was unveiling a softer, more romantic side. I chose a dinner cruise, and while sipping a glass of French wine, I felt like I was living inside a postcard. The gentle sway of the boat, the laughter of other travelers, and the sight of the Pont Alexandre III glowing at night. It was one of those moments where time seemed to pause. Number 7. Champs-Élysées and Arc de Triomphe. Walking the Champs-Élysées felt like walking through the heartbeat of Paris. The avenue stretched endlessly, lined with tall trees, elegant boutiques, and bustling cafes. I wandered slowly, window shopping, and people watching until I reached the towering Arc de Triomphe. Standing beneath it, I thought about the history behind this monument, Napoleon's tribute to French soldiers. Climbing to the top, I was rewarded with one of the most spectacular views of Paris. From up there, 12 avenues fanned out like rays of light, and the Eiffel Tower stood tall in the distance. Before heading back down, I bought a box of macarons from La Durée nearby, biting into their delicate shells filled with sweet ganache while watching Paris move below me. It was a perfect Parisian treat to end the day. Number 6. Latin Quarter and Panthéon. Exploring the Latin Quarter felt like stepping back in time. The narrow streets were alive with the smell of fresh crêpes, little bookshops spilling stories onto the sidewalks, and the chatter of students from the nearby Sorbonne University. I stopped at Shakespeare & Company, a bookstore I had always dreamed of visiting, and browsed through shelves crammed with classics. Just around the corner stood the Panthéon, its grand neoclassical dome impossible to miss. Inside, I saw the resting places of France's greatest thinkers, Voltaire, Victor Hugo, and Marie Curie. It gave me goosebumps to stand in the same hall as these legends. Afterward, I sat in a cafe tucked away in the quarter and ordered a steaming bowl of French onion soup. The melted cheese and bread on top made it one of the most comforting meals I had in Paris. Number 5. Palace of Versailles. A short trip outside Paris took me to the extravagant Palace of Versailles. From the moment I passed through the Golden Gates, I knew I was walking into pure opulence. The Hall of Mirrors, glittering with chandeliers and endless reflections, was breathtaking. But it was the gardens that truly amazed me. Perfectly sculpted hedges, fountains dancing to Baroque music, and statues around every corner. I rented a bike to explore the grounds, and it felt like I was riding through a royal dream. By the time I left, I was exhausted but thrilled, so I stopped by a nearby cafe for a flaky almond croissant. Eating it while staring back at the palace made me feel like royalty, even if just for a moment. Number 4. Musée d'Orsay. Out of all the museums I visited, the Musée d'Orsay stayed closest to my heart. Housed in an old railway station, its massive arched ceilings made the whole place feel grand yet welcoming. Walking through galleries filled with Monet's soft brushstrokes, Degas' ballerinas, and Van Gogh's swirling skies was like flipping through the pages of art history. My favorite spot was standing behind the giant clock window, looking out at Montmartre in the distance. It felt like a scene from a movie. Before leaving, I treated myself at the Museum Café. Sitting under chandeliers with a cup of Café Crème and a slice of cake, surrounded by art lovers, I felt like I had stepped into Paris's golden age. Number 3. Notre-Dame and Île de la Cité. Notre-Dame was one of the first landmarks I visited, and even after the fire, its Gothic towers and rose windows still commanded respect. Standing in the square out front, I felt dwarfed by its history and beauty. I wandered around the Île de la Cité, the island where Paris itself was born, and found quiet spots along the Seine. Behind the cathedral, I stumbled into the square, Jean the 23rd, a peaceful garden with benches tucked under flowering trees. I grabbed a fresh baguette sandwich from a nearby boulangerie, sat there, and just enjoyed the quiet moment with the cathedral rising above me. It felt like Paris was showing me its softer, more intimate side. Number 2. The Louvre Museum. The Louvre is overwhelming in the best way possible. As I stepped inside the former royal palace, I felt like I was entering a different era with every room. Of course, I made my way to the Mona Lisa, but what surprised me most were the hidden treasures. The Winged Victory of Samothrace, the Venus de Milo, and even Egyptian mummies tucked in quiet halls. It was easy to get lost in the maze, but I loved it. After hours of wandering, I finally stepped out into the courtyard as the glass pyramid lit up against the night sky. I bought a slice of Tarte Tatin nearby, sweet, sticky, caramelized apples on buttery pastry, and it felt like the perfect ending to my Louvre adventure. Number 1. The Eiffel Tower. No matter how many pictures you've seen, nothing prepares you for seeing the Eiffel Tower up close. The first time I stood beneath it, I craned my neck in disbelief. It was taller and more magnificent than I imagined. I decided to climb part of the way up before taking the elevator higher, and with every step, Paris unfolded wider beneath me. From the top, I could see Montmartre, the Seine, and the Arc de Triomphe all in one sweeping view. But the real magic came at night, when the tower lit up and then suddenly burst into sparkling lights for 5 minutes, Watching it shimmer against the dark sky felt unreal. Afterwards, I grabbed a Croque Monsieur from a cafe nearby, a cheesy golden Parisian sandwich that perfectly capped off my night. That was my journey through 10 of the most beautiful places in Paris. Each spot gave me a different memory, from stained glass light shows to buttery croissants, from royal palaces to quiet riverbanks. Paris is not just a city, it's an experience you carry long after you leave. Tell me in the comments which place would you visit first. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more travel stories from around the world.